Hello, and welcome to the Bentonville Film Festival.
Hi.
I heard you guys screened last night, and they had to sit on the stairs.
We were quite literally standing room only, which has never happened to me before and was so exciting to see. I was going to watch it again, and I decided to waive my privileges and let some really, really cool, excited people see it, and it totally blew my expectations out of the water. It was great.
Tell us about the film that everybody stood in line to see.
Our film is a weird, wacky DIY masterpiece. It's a collage of a bunch of different genres. The reason I was so drawn to it is because it's really not like anything you've ever seen, and it wasn't like anything that I'd ever read when I got the script, and that's what pulled me into it. So it's about found family and subverting expectations and who's gonna survive.
What did you do to research for the part?
Ooh. Not much. There wasn't much I could do because when you're playing a pregnant woman, the only thing you can do is put on a belly and walk around. So there wasn't much that I felt like I even could do in advance. I just knew that I had to show up and dive in head first and see what could happen. And I was right in thinking that everything I needed to know would come to me as soon as I put that belly on, and it was true. I didn't even have to act pregnant. Once you have this other thing, the way you walk changes, and I found myself like standing with my supporting my back with my hands, and I was like, wow, this comes really naturally the second you get in this environment.
How long did you guys shoot for the film?
The film shot for a little less than a month. It was a tight schedule, but I shot for about 13 hours of it. I was in one scene, and I originally was going to be in 2 days. Scheduling meant we had to get it all done in one day, and so I ended up being on one day for the entire shoot. And to have it be such a short-lived on-paper experience, and to have it make such a lasting impact on my life, and to be here 2 years later supporting this film and proudly saying that it altered the course of my career and what I want to do is pretty incredible.
That says a lot. Have you kept up with the director since?
Yes, I have. I don't think I'd be here if I didn't. I had no idea going into it how much of an impact this movie and Dutch Southerner director would have on my life, but I feel like I got adopted into a big family the second that I stepped on that set, and I still feel that way to this day.
Is there any projects you might be able to work together again?
I don't know. It depends on whether or not he writes me something.
Look in the camera. Write me something.
Write me something. Yeah.
What are you working on now?
I am currently working on myself constantly, but we are currently in the middle of a very interesting writer's strike, so I'm working on what I want to be doing in the future, which I find myself doing a lot, so I think I'd be doing that even if there wasn't a big gap in everyone's career at the moment. But I find having a break like this always just gives me an opportunity to go back to the question of what do I want to do next? You know, what do I want my career to look like going forward? And it gives you a little bit of time to really calculate and design and an idea of what you want your life to look like.
Now, do you want to stay primarily into acting, or do you want to get into directing, writing?
Ooh. I really enjoy acting. I already overthink enough just acting. I find it incredible, the patience and foresight you have to be able to direct or write or produce something of this, even of this scale. So I think I'm not going to say that it's never going to happen, but for now, I'm really finding what I love with acting, and I think everything else is going to have to come after that.
Now, did you go to college or school for acting?
No, I didn't. I had a moment where I was auditioning for an art school in North Carolina where I was growing up, and I was about to go through the audition process, and I was really nervous, and I was really excited, and I was sure I was going to get into this acting program. And right before I went into audition, I ended up getting an offer to go out to do Chilling Adventures of Sabrina in Vancouver, Canada, from where I was living in North Carolina. So go pretty much all the way across the continent to do this other thing. And for a moment, a very brief moment, I considered turning down Sabrina to go and do this art school and to go and learn. And I remember my mom, who's sitting right there, said something along the lines of, well, do you want to pay to learn how to do the thing that you want to do, or do you want to get paid to do the thing that you know you can do? And I remember being like, well, that's a no-brainer. So I ended up basically learning on the fly, and Sabrina ended up being pretty much my college experience, because I was on it from when I was 16 to when I was 18, and it was boot camp, and I learned everything I could possibly have learned at college, if not more, and I'm always really, really grateful for that. But no, I did not lead a very conventional schooling.
So basically,
timeline.
mom is always right.
Oh, my mom is always right. Yes, exactly. I was also homeschooled by said mom.
We have that on tape. So,
exactly. Yeah. Oh, you've got it on tape tenfold. I talk about this woman in like every interview I do. I'm like, my mom is amazing.
What do you have to advise? Because this Bentonville is very female-centric and very empowering for filmmakers and everything else, female filmmakers. What do you have to say for an actress that's looking at you going, I don't know if I could do it? Do you have any advice for anybody that wants to try to get into acting?
Well, I know it's already hard enough for women in film, and I think it's incredible that something like this is so supportive of women, but it's also very crucially supportive of diverse voices. It's women and diverse voices, and I am non-binary, so as a transgender actor, I have even more of a bit of a hurdle to overcome. That people seeing me as a woman, it already knocks me down a couple pegs in terms of the respect I get on set, the pay that you get, all of these strange struggles that you would think wouldn't be happening anymore but are. And then you add another level to, well, I'm transgender, I don't fit in that box, I'm not a woman, and that's a whole nother thing. And so to be in a position where I can help provide visibility and a precedent for other queer filmmakers, queer actors, non-binary filmmakers, and to be here supporting a film that showcases this bizarre set of queerness, this bizarre feminism, this wonderful kind of story of misfits and outcasts is really, really special. And I think that stories like this go a long way in showing that it doesn't matter who you are. If you find the right people to work with, if you find the right stories, you will show up and you will be not only accepted, but you'll be celebrated. And I think that that's something that every filmmaker should be allowed the opportunity to experience at least once in their life.